Namaste, guys. ChristianRLong, Life Enhancement Consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Tuesday afternoon. It's about 2 o'clock p.m. here, Mountain Time in Denver, Colorado. My hair is extra fluffy and extra fuzzy today. As you guys probably know, I grew my hair out very long, and then the past month, they took about 3.5 inches off. Agriti, Namaste, and I'm still getting accustomed to using which products at which time for which purposes, and this is just, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with my hair right now. All right, hold on. Got messages coming in, and so I'm in between clients today, and I thought I'd jump on and do a live stream with you guys today because I'm going to be healing later into the evening, and I'm not a big fan of doing streams like 9:30 at night. It's not my jam. Gets me too wound up and too jacked up. Pat, Namaste to go to sleep. Elizabeth, Namaste. Good to have you guys on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you logging in for the very first time, this stream goes on Joey Joerson. This stream goes on every single day, Anna, Namaste, for the year of 2019. So far, this is April 23rd, 2019. We have not missed one stream the entire year up to this point. So the plan is to do a stream every single day for the entire year of 2019, and we cover energy healing, meditation, and practical spirituality. Zach, Namaste, another Zach. So now we have two Zachs that attend the streams. I love it. Adriana, Namaste. I know you're logging in because you normally can't get on when we do the streams in the evening because you're asleep, or at least your body's asleep. So I was thinking, well, what are we going to talk about today? What's the topic at hand? And I thought this is a great topic because I've had to deal with this with friends. I've had to deal with this with clients. I've had to deal with this in my own life. And a question arises, what is more important to move your life forward? Is it inner work or is it energy healing? Now, you might be saying, well, what's the difference? What's energy work or inner work? I've never even heard that before. And then some of you don't even know what energy healing is, so we'll cover both. So inner work is when you're sitting down. Let's say you have a sticking point in your life, right? Let's say the sticking point is connected to health. And you're sitting down and you have this sticking point in your life, and you have that sticking point because you don't have awareness as to why you are in that position. That's why you got there. You ever hear people make the comment of like somebody's maybe 350, 400 pounds, and people say, how did that person get there? Don't you think around 200 pounds they might say, hey, I think I have an eating problem. I think I am very sedentary. Hey, I think I may need to see a doctor or hire a personal trainer or have a nutritionist help me with my nutrition, right? How did I get from being 140 pounds up to 350 or 400 pounds, right? Because that doesn't happen overnight. Namaste, right? So what happens is the person is lacking awareness as to why they're there. And then number two, they're lacking the understanding to shift from where they are to where they want to be. So if somebody has awareness of, wow, I have a lot of excess weight on my body that shouldn't be here, and it's detrimental to my physical health, to my physical well-being. You have awareness, and now you have to have understanding as to why you are in that position, and then understanding on what to do to get out of that position, right? So that's inner work. And one of the quotes of my teacher, Grandmaster Choa Koksui, the modern founder of Arhatic Yoga and Pranic Healing, this quote I actually run my entire business on. He said, without awareness, there's no inner transformation. Without awareness, there's no inner transformation. Angie, Namaste, good to have you on. So then we have the other side of the coin is energy healing. What is energy healing? Energy healing is going into the person's aura, going into the person's meridians or energy channels, going into the person's chakra system, going into the person's subconscious mind, going into the person's cells, energetically speaking, and deeply and profoundly cleansing those things of negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative programs, Andrew, namaste, congested energies, right? You're cleansing the person's energy body. Now, I'm not talking about all forms of energy healing. I'm talking specifically about pranic healing and Hatha yoga and the protocols and methodologies that we use. 80% of pranic healing is cleansing the person's energy body. And then 20-30% is energizing that person's energy body with the positive qualities. So if you remove stress, you replace it with peace. If you remove anger, you replace it with love. If you remove fear, you replace it with confidence. If you remove trauma, you replace it with emotional healing. You guys get my point? So you're taking out the negative, the lower vibrational energy, and you're replacing it with more positive vibrational energies that the person's energy body can assimilate. So then the question remains is, well, what's more important? Is inner work more important, or is getting energy healing more important? Now, give you an example. In my own life, when I was living in the New York City, Angela, namaste, when I was living in the New York City area, I was living in Jersey City. I was a 10-minute subway ride to Wall Street. I used to work on Wall Street. And when I was living in that area for about 3.5 years, I would weekly, if not several times a week, go to the Center for Pranic Healing in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. It was like a 20-minute train ride. And I would go there for meditation and healing clinics. I would go there for full moons. I would go there for advanced classes. I would go there for service. I'd go there for all kinds of reasons, just to hang out and socialize, group meditations, whatever the case may be. And I can tell you several times that people would, as they were healing me, they would say to me, hey, your pancreas, which is you have your spleen in your lower left rib, Lady Atma Namaste, and then behind the spleen is your pancreas, your physical spleen. So they were feeling it, and it was very congested and very heavy. And so not one healer, not two healers, but 3 or more healers over a 3.5-year period said, hey, Christian, you should stop eating so much sugar. Christian, sugar is causing you a lot of emotional turmoil and emotional stress. Now, I was getting healing. Some of those were specific healings for sugar addiction. Some of them were healings for emotional stress. Some of those were healings from childhood trauma. Anili Atma Namaste, right? So all kinds of healings were taking place over those 3.5 years. Now the question is, did I quit sugar over those 3.5 years? Even though I had many people, many healers say, Christian, you need to stop eating sugar. Christian, you need to stop eating sugar. Christian, you need to stop eating sugar. Nope. Over those 3.5 years, which, funny enough, maybe not so funny, were the toughest 3.5 years of my entire incarnation of being on this planet. Why? Because at that time in my life, I was consuming more sugar than I'd ever had in my entire life. Come to find out, I've had a sugar sensitivity so bad that if I eat a certain amount of sugar, I become super weird. It said connection unavailable. I was like, what are you talking about? So it would destroy my emotional body. I would get super upset, super agitated, so angry that I would rip the doors off of the hinges where I was living. I was so angry. I smashed my laptop. I broke lamps. I put holes in the wall. I was hospitalized 3 times. 3 times. And nobody could figure it out. The doctors couldn't figure it out. The police officers who arrested me couldn't figure it out. They go, we don't know what's wrong with him. It was sugar. So, what's my point? I was getting energy healing. Not all of it was specific to sugar addiction, but because I lacked awareness and because I lacked understanding as to how badly sugar was affecting my life, I wasn't able to transform internally. So so many crazy comes from sugar. Yeah. So my crazy, maybe it's possible. So how do I know that it was sugar? So years afterwards, something told me, we'll talk about it as the higher self, told me, stop eating sugar right now. So all I ate was, for a period of 6 weeks, a very weird story. All I ate was apples, mostly green apples, but some gala apples, red apples, and almonds. And that's pretty much what I ate for about 6 weeks. But I was getting not refined sugar, I was getting fructose, which is sugar from fruit that has fiber connected to it, so the body doesn't get so spiked when it eats it. It's more a gradual process, right, of assimilation of the sugar. And the brain uses up a lot of sugar when you're thinking a lot, when you're processing information. So one day I went into a Wendy's and I got lunch, and then before I left the building, like Elvis, before I left the building, I went up to the counter and I said, can I get a Frosty? Not one of those big Frosties, but a little baby Frosty, like that big, like what you would give, like, I don't know, a 2-year-old, like the little baby Frosties, because I just wanted something sweet, because I hadn't had anything sweet, for about 6 weeks. So I start eating the Frosty, and within 30 minutes, not 5 hours, not a week later, within 30 minutes, all of the old pains, the old physical pains, and the old emotional pains, irritability, anger, mental fog, all of these things came into my awareness. And guess what? With that awareness, I had transformation. And then through greater awareness, I had greater understanding as to what was causing everything, and now what I could do about it. And ever since that time, my life has transformed. It's one of the greatest lessons of my entire incarnation, of how detrimental sugar was for my physical body, for my emotional body, and for my mental body. Like 3.5 years of hell, primarily because of sugar. Because I was eating so much sugar than I had at any other point in my life, and it was making everything worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So Letty says, actually, now I think about it, I stopped processed sugar, and for 40 days, and now that I recall, I was much calmer and clear. You just inspired me to cut back again. Thanks. You're very welcome. So there's another example. We didn't do any energy healing with Letty, but because of her awareness, she can now transform further because she has deeper understanding. So my point in all of this is that many practitioners, myself included, are so focused on meditation, are so focused on getting energy healing, are so focused on receiving spiritual blessings and spiritual empowerments from other great teachers and other lineages. That's all well and good. I highly encourage it. I've dedicated my life to energy healing and helping clients move their lives forward. But the caveat to that is the energy healing, the blessings, the spiritual paraphernalia can only go so far because it's based on your level of awareness. So the greater your awareness, the greater your understanding, the faster and more valuable those blessings and healings are. Does that make sense? Because you can get all the blessings in the world, you can do all the meditations in the world, but if you do them, if you receive them and do them unconsciously, you're not going to move your life forward. So my encouragement to each and every one of you who are on the spiritual path is developing awareness. How do you develop awareness? Number one, by being still. By being still. If you're always moving physically, emotionally, and mentally all day long, you're not developing stillness. Because in the stillness, awareness will start coming out. Awareness of, hey, when I'm still, I have this physical body. Hey, when I have physical pains. But when I wasn't still, I didn't notice I had pain in my shoulder. Now I have pain in my shoulder. I have awareness of the pain in my shoulder. Understanding, how long have I had this pain? Where did it come from? What can I do about it? What should I do to not cause more pain to it while I'm in the process of healing it? Okay, this, and this. Let me reach out to an energy healer, Michelle, namaste, to move this part of my life forward. That's just having stillness physically. Just having stillness physically. But what if you have stillness emotionally? So now I'm still physically, and I start having all these feelings coming up. Wow. I have awareness of feelings of unworthiness. I have feelings of avoidance. I have feelings of sadness. Well, through understanding, is it my sadness? Is it the sadness of the area? Is somebody connecting to me who is sad? If it's my sadness, what's causing the sadness? Well, I saw that horrible movie last week. Prior to that, I didn't have any sadness, and I've been feeling sad ever since watching that movie. Okay, so now I have awareness that movies like that cause me to feel sad, even though in the moment they're enjoyable, but I don't want to be sad for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks after watching a movie. Okay, I'm going to stop watching those kinds of movies. You have awareness, you have inner transformation. Make sense? I have that sadness, I have awareness, it doesn't seem to be moving my life forward. Let me reach out to a pranic healer. Let me reach out to an energy healer. Let me reach out to a mentor, a coach, a guide to help create greater awareness as to why I'm stuck, and then remove the negative thought, the negative emotion, the negative program within my system, preventing me from moving forward. So do you see how they work? Rachel, namaste. Do you see how they work hand in hand with each other? So Adriana said something. Let's see what she said. This story is interesting every time. Why is it that people have to learn the lessons after suffering for a long time instead of listening to those around them? See it so many times. You guys ready for this? Adriana brings up an excellent point. Why do we have to suffer so much before we change? You guys ready for this? I'm as guilty as anybody on this stream and beyond. The reason is negative pride. I'll say that again. The reason is negative pride. Negative pride is like a soup. It's like a mist. It's like something we are constantly swimming in. Namaste. It's a soup that we're constantly swimming in all day long. From when we're sleeping to when we wake up to when we go back to bed, interacting with the world, working, playing, home, everything. It's all, right? We're constantly exposed to the negative pride because it's known as a glamour. You can look this up. There was a book written about it almost 100 years ago called Glamour, A World Problem by Alice Bailey. Glamour, A World Problem by Alice Bailey. And it's not the typical glamour that you think of with the magazines and all that. That's a very small part of it. But it's like a mist that clouds our perception of reality. So when people were telling me, hey Christian, you should stop eating sugar. Hey Christian, you should watch what you eat. Hey Christian, you should get more physical exercise. Hey Christian, maybe you shouldn't meditate so much. Hey Christian, on and on and on and on and on. What was preventing me? Rose, namaste. What was preventing me, right? What was preventing me from taking in that advice, examining it, reflecting on it, having a greater understanding, and moving my life forward? What was preventing me? Negative pride. Why? They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know who I am. They don't know my situation. They don't know what I'm trying to accomplish. They think they know better than me. Who do they think they are? Negative pride. Negative pride. I'll say it again. Negative pride. That is what prevents us, or let me rephrase it, that's what keeps us suffering for such a long period of time before we can move our lives forward. I like how Jimena says both are important. Of course both are important. So, Letty says, yep, asking questions brings awareness versus taking the first thought, which could be masked and self-sabotage. Yes. Hold on, everybody. You guys are typing super fast here. Yes, stillness. Great start for awareness cultivation. Lots of people I know have a lot of trouble with being still. Modern day problem, I think. Amanda says, but doing only energy cleansing is not enough. If you do not do inner work, you will continue suffering cycle. Letty says, bingo. Yes. That's what we covered in the beginning of the stream, Jimena. Hopefully you can watch the replay and kind of tie it all together because you came in like in the middle of the stream. So they are both important, but inner work, in my opinion, in my experience as a practitioner of 15 years and a meditation practitioner of 20 years, almost 20 years, my experience is that it's more important to do inner work. Interesting. So a good remedy is to develop positive pride. Yes, so that's a good point. So Grandmaster Choa talks about you have negative pride and you have positive pride. So positive pride would be similar to the scaffolding that goes around a building, right? So as a building is getting built and as a building is getting renovated, they have scaffolding, right? So that would be similar to positive pride. It's necessary in order for the building to go up. But at some point, the scaffolding has to come down or it can be an impediment to moving forward. Just like if you have the scaffolding around a brand new building that's complete, it gets in the way of people going about and doing their business. So we have to let go of negative pride. But positive pride is good because think about this as a child. If you were a little child and you never got positive reinforcement of being intelligent, of being a good person, of learning your lesson, of being good looking, of dressing well, like compliments that you receive as a child, if you never got those compliments as a child, most likely you're either going to have a very low self-image and you will use negative pride to cover up that low self-image, or you'll have an inflated sense of self-image that you'll also use negative pride to cover up. So negative pride can be on either end of the spectrum. A healthy self-image, good self-esteem, good self-worth is in the middle, the path of moderation. It's in the middle. So yes, positive pride is good when we're starting out something, right? Starting out our lives as little children or starting in a new field of endeavor, right? A new career path. It's like when people learn pranic healing for the first time, they know nothing about the aura, they know nothing about the chakras, they know nothing about meditation, they know nothing about healing other people. If the instructor that is teaching that person in class says, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong, what's that going to do? It's going to make the person's self-esteem and self-image and self-worth as a healer go down very rapidly, and they're not going to want to move forward, right? But if the instructor says, you're amazing, you're great, everything you do is perfect, you could do no wrong, blah, 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 the person has an inflated viewpoint of themselves and of their healing abilities, right? They're not actually doing the correct technique, therefore they're not going to produce the correct result. So where do we want to be? Right in the middle, right? Right in the middle. We want to go, hey, you're doing good at this. You might want to tweak this, and this. But other than that, phenomenal. Keep up the great work, right? So the person has a level of accurate viewpoint of like, I wasn't doing the correct technique correctly, but the instructor did say I'm going to become better. I'm going to eventually learn it. Okay, I got this, right? So you can move forward properly, rapidly, with humility. So I hope this is making sense to you, beautiful souls. And actually, it's very interesting because the self-esteem movement that started in the late 70s with children of no matter what they did, they're amazing, they're phenomenal, they're great. By telling the children those things, they have a greater sense of entitlement and they actually put in less effort to become better people because they already think they're amazing, right? So what family psychologists have recommended is that you don't celebrate the child, you celebrate the behavior. You don't celebrate the child, you celebrate the behavior. You don't say, you're such a smart person, right? If the kid does something intelligent and smart, you say, hey, that was a very intelligent thing to do. That was a very smart thing to do. That was a very clever thing to do, right? And then if the child does something that's not so intelligent, you don't say, you're stupid, you're an idiot, you're a screw up. You don't say that. You said, that thing that you did wasn't very intelligent. That thing that you did was not very smart. That thing that you did was not very well thought out, right? You're edifying or de-edifying the behavior, not the person. So Adriana says, yes, I see also a lot of people who had very little positive reinforcement when growing up. Parenting in the middle is very important. Yes. Correct. So, again, we're covering a tremendous amount of information in this little baby stream, right? That's why there's weekend classes. That's why you work with a professional, with a psychologist, a psychiatrist, an energy healer, a mentor, a spiritual guide for a period of time, 6 months, 12 months, depending upon what it is that you need. I'm not a big believer of working with the same person on the same thing for 5 years. That's not my strategy. Like if somebody has childhood trauma issues, I don't believe we need to talk that through for 5 years. I believe a few months of developing awareness, developing understanding leads to inner transformation, and then adding energy healing to that speeds up the process so the person can transform faster than they thought possible. Does that make sense? But I'm not a big believer of let's stay on this topic for 5 years. Yes, 5 long years to transform. Anthony Robbins said it best. He goes, transformation can happen in a moment. Transformation can happen in a moment. In a moment. In a moment. True, it may take you 5, 10, 15, 20 years to get to that point, but it can still happen in a moment. Jimenez says, childhood is not destiny. What you didn't receive in your childhood, you own it to you in your adulthood. Absolutely. 100%. I have a client that says that all the time. 100%. 100%. It's super funny. I really like that she says that. 100%. Alexandra, Atma Namaste. So is that making sense to you guys? It's not one or the other. It's not inner work and no energy healing, or energy healing and no inner work. It's both. But, if I had to pick, inner work is more important than energy healing. Because inner work is what people avoid doing most of the time. Why? Because it's not easy. Why? Because you're having to look into the darkest parts of who you think you are. You're having to look at low self-esteem, low self-image, low self-worth, self-hatred, self-loathing, fear, anxiety. You're having to look at the darkest aspects of yourself. That's why nobody wants to do it. But if you do it, you can transform your life. And I'll leave you guys with this nugget. This was said a few years ago by one of the master pranic healers. If you want to make a quantum leap in your development, you have to eliminate fear. I'll say that again. If you want to make a quantum leap in your development, you have to eliminate fear. Well, an energy healer can help you with that. A mentor, a guide, a psychologist, a psychiatrist can help you with that. But you have to go deep within yourself to eradicate the fear, to eliminate the fear. They can help with the understanding, but if you don't have the will to transform, the will to change, it's only going to be temporary. The Fear of what? Fear in general. Fear in general. So you have fear of success, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of rejection, right? Fear of not being good enough. You have many kinds of fears that branch off in our psychology, in our subconscious minds. But if you remove fear to a high degree, Becky, Atma Namaste, if you remove fear to a high degree, you can move your life forward. You can make that quantum leap. But what does that require us to do? To do inner work. I'll give you two examples about inner work and how important it is to move forward. One of the Master Pranic Healers said this about 4 years ago at one of the teacher trainings. He said, you can have the best nutrition, you can have the best workout routine, you can have the best energy healer working on you, but if you have not substantially forgiven yourself, a person, or a situation, within 20 minutes after the healing, you will be recongested. You guys get that? So you can have a great healer working on you, removing all these negative thoughts, and negative emotions, and negative energies, and negative programs, and negative patterns, right? You can have them remove all of those things. But if you don't have the inner will and the awareness that you have not forgiven and you have not let go, your energy body is recontaminated within 20 minutes. Think about that. Mind-blowing. That's why I recommend to all of my clients, all of them, to practice forgiveness. Number two, you know people that smoke cigarettes, right? What is this? This is a joint and this is a cigarette. So when people smoke cigarettes, there's a pranic healing protocol for smoking cessation, meaning to quit smoking. There's a pranic healing protocol, and it's actually very effective. But it says in the protocol, the person has to have a strong desire to quit smoking in order for the protocol to stick, in order for the person to never pick up another cigarette again. Does that make sense? Meaning, if the person says, yeah, I guess I kind of want to quit, whether I quit or I don't quit, it doesn't really matter. So the healing is only going to be so effective. But if the person has awareness that they have to quit smoking and that they have a problem with smoking, and then they develop understanding of what that smoking is doing to their family, themselves, their finances, and the world at large, then they will have a strong desire to quit smoking, and the energy healing will be that much more effective in moving their life forward. Make sense? Harita Atma Namaste. So, having a strong desire to quit smoking is necessary for the protocol to stick. And it's interesting because Master Choa said that the karma, the negative karma generated with smoking is severe. The negative karma generated with smoking is severe. Why is it severe? Because you're injuring yourself, you're injuring other people through secondhand smoke, and you're injuring Mother Earth by contaminating Mother Earth with smoking entities, elementals, with the chemicals that are in the cigarettes that can go into the ground and go into the drinking water. So the karma, it's not good karma. Smoking is not good karma. Again, it's not judgment because the person is suffering. We have to have compassion for the person who's smoking because they're suffering, their family's suffering, and the environment is suffering. So we have to help them, but they have to have a strong desire to quit. So lady says, I need to do this, push the forgiveness practice, so much unnecessary suffering. Yeah, exactly. So does that make sense to you beautiful souls? I hope we hammered the point home with enough metaphors, analogies, comparisons, etc., etc. Got my protein shake right here, about to finish it off, or as I like to say, polish it off. Snaz. What about people that smoke herb? They say it connects them to Mother Earth. It's it's a form of self-delusion. It's a form of self-delusion. Because you could say eating any plant, any fruit, any vegetable, any nut connects you to Mother Earth. Or actually any food connects you to Mother Earth. It's self-delusion. It's a way a person uses to justify their situation. An example from a spiritual practitioner would be, well, or somebody who wants to meditate. Somebody goes, I don't meditate because it takes up too much of my time. I don't meditate because every time I sit down and close my eyes, my mind can't stop racing. I don't meditate because it's boring. Right? All of those are excuses, all of those are justifications, all of those are rationalizations as to why they're not doing something good. Right? And we do that. Amanda says one level of truth, but there are more. Correct. So a way to practice discernment and a way to validate whether that's true or not with smoking herb or smoking pot is to look at the fruit that doing that activity produces. Look at the fruit of doing that activity that it produces. Does smoking pot make that person more effective, more efficient, more productive, more loving, more kind, more mentally sharp? Yola, Satma Namaste, good to have you on as always, right? If the fruit is good, then you keep doing it. If the fruit is not so good, you stop doing it. So when we smoke cigarettes, wait, how do I do this? There we go. When we smoke cigarettes, it makes the person's capacity to breathe harder. They're coughing all the time. It makes them physiologically and psychologically addicted to having another cigarette. It dirties their clothes. It dirties their fingernails. It adversely affects their sleep. It constricts their capillaries in their body. So the fruit of smoking cigarettes is not good. It's very, very bad. But someone who's smoking cigarettes will justify it, rationalize it, and say, well, the reason I smoke is because it calms my nerves. Not accurate. Not accurate. It's interesting because when a smoker is smoking, for their first cigarette, they're taking a really deep inhalation. When you take a deep inhalation, it stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system in the lower lobes of the lungs and creates a relaxation response. So is it the inhalation of the cigarette or is it the inhalation period that is causing them to be calm, that is causing them to have cool, calm, and collected nerves? I know we covered a lot of material in this live stream. Hopefully you guys took notes. Hopefully you got value out of it. Hopefully you have greater awareness in some part of your life. Stop lying to yourself. Stop deluding yourself. Do the right thing. Lee, Atma Namaste. And move your life forward. So any area in your life that you don't like, your health, your wealth, your relationships, another Adriana, Atma Namaste, your spiritual practice, any area in your life that you're not fulfilled in, I can almost guarantee you two things are going on. One, you have very low standards for that part of your life. Two, you make a lot of excuses as to why you are staying where you're staying. Remove the excuses, raise your standards, and you will move your life forward. Anna, Atma Namaste. Good to have you on. Letty, you're very, very welcome. I'm glad this is adding value to your life. Some very weird energies are coming in. I'm not quite sure what's going on because I lack awareness of what's going on. Not bad energies, just different energies. I think it's the dynamic of people in the group. So, that being said, If you're just now logging in, please watch the replay. We covered so much information. Grab a pen, grab a notepad, go to town. If you are in need of healing, which we all are, myself included, if you are in need of healing, go to ChristianRLong.com/services, schedule a distant pranic healing session. Some of you may know that I recently, about a month and a half ago, I took the next level of our Hatha Yoga, which means my healing ability has also increased many times. So if you're looking for deeper healing, for faster healing, definitely go to ChristianRLong.com/services. We'll help you get through where you need to go from A to Z. And that's it. Are there any other questions, comments, clarifications needed? Amanda says, yeah, my internet connection not good. Thanks for the insights, Chris. Golden words. These are not my words. These are my teacher's words, but golden would be appropriate. Remove your excuses and raise your standards. My nugget from the stream. Atma Namaste. That's what I'm talking about, girl. I love it. Beautiful. All right, guys, I'm going to start healing the next set of clients. Lots of light, love, and power from God and our teacher, Grandmaster Choa Kokusui, into your lives. Feel free to reach out to me directly. Go to ChristianRLong.com if you're looking for healing time. My calendar is right there, and I look forward to serving you guys in the very near future. This is Christian R. Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma Namaste. Bye-bye. When cash improves, would enjoy an experience of your talents. All right, Stephen, ready when you are, son.